Okay, thank you for waiting. I apologize for that. Like I said, we had just started something new, and what we were doing is broadcasting live as well, simulcast on YouTube. But I was getting an echo back. I don't know if you were hearing that as well. And so I didn't really want that to affect our presentation. So it's good that we kind of nipped that in the bud from the very beginning, and we didn't lose a lot of time and effort here trying to persuade anybody to come join us. So I hope you can hear me well. In fact, what I'm going to do is just ask you once again, if you can hear me or if there's any echo or if you're having any technical difficulties, just go to your chat box and let us know before we start. And just type in yes or no, or if you can hear me fine. And if everything is okay, then we'll begin the presentation once again. Okay, I'll just pause about 30 seconds to see if you can hear me okay. Okay, it looks as if everything is okay. All right, so why don't we begin? And once again, I apologize for the little pause there in our recording, but that's okay. We're starting right at the top, and I see that we have a lot more people joining us, so that's a good thing on top of it. We're going to be talking about winning trades that last for 1 week. If you're the type of trader that doesn't like to hold on to positions, or if you're the type of trader that just wants to get in and out quickly, this is a great technique that I'm going to share with you today. Now, most of these examples I'll be sharing with you last about a week. Some of them last less than a week, and some of them will last a few days after. But on average, you're only going to be in these setups for roughly 1 week. And the good news is that this particular technique, as we've seen in our past examples, really generates a lot of winning trades. So this is really a great way to trade if you're not the type of trader that likes to hold on for the long haul. For example, let's look at this example right here. I believe this is an ODFL, okay? Once again, we got a nice little run up here. Let's say you were lucky enough to be long and you bought it somewhere down here. And you're feeling good about your position. Maybe you bought the calls, or maybe you've actually owned the stock. But you go to that chat room or that trading room, and that guy that talks on there that you have a lot of faith in says, you know, you got to be careful because we may have had a reversal here. We opened higher and then closed lower, and that may be telling us that this is overbought. So if you're long, maybe you want to sell. Maybe you want to take your profits and get out of this trade. Or if you're a little bit more aggressive, maybe you want to exit your trade and then go short. So you listen to this guy because, after all, he must know what he's talking about, right? And you decide to sell your position. And in fact, you buy some puts. You feel really good about yourself because you got a little profit, okay? Now, for the next day, you're looking all right. It's going lower. It opened and goes lower. And you're saying to yourself, well, that guy in the chat room says we're probably going to make new lows, so I'll stay short. And then this happens, right? Look familiar to anyone? It not only stops going down, but actually it's higher than where you exited. So now, not only did you get out of the winning position, now you're losing on your short. This is the trouble with happens with most traders. You're taking yourself out of the game and you're trading on faulty information. What if there was something more consistent? Well, this is what we're going to be talking about today, because this method I'll be talking about actually didn't have a sell signal at all. In fact, where you thought it was going to go lower, where that so-called trading guru in the chat room told you to get out and it was going to make new lows, we were actually buying off this technique right here and right here. And as you can see, in just 1 week, you could have potentially captured 40 points. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, these winning trades that last roughly 1 week, some a little bit less, some a little bit more. And you'll be able to execute this technique, what I'm sharing with you today, on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform, the educational platform that actually teaches you how to short-term trade. So welcome once again. My name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. I started Specialist Trading and teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies roughly about 15 years ago with one goal in mind, a little bit different from other webinars and other websites you may have gone to. Our only goal is simply to educate you. We are first and foremost an educational company. Therefore, as an educator, we don't provide students with nightly signals. We don't tell them what we think the market's going to do, or what we think the best stock is to trade, or what we think the best time frame is to trade. It's been my opinion in 46 years of trading that those are things you have to decide. Why? Because when you let someone or something else decide how to trade for you, you're taking yourself out of the game, and you're basically just saying to the markets, well, I don't have enough knowledge. I'm not smart enough. I haven't been trading long enough. I don't have enough experience. I really don't know what I'm doing. So I'll let you decide for me. And that can be actually the worst thing you can ever do as a trader. Because think of a lawyer saying, well, and asking, someone in court, well, how do you think I should, try this case? Or think of a brain surgeon asking one of the nurses, how do you think I should operate here? Or think of an airline pilot saying, well, how do you think I should land this plane over the intercom to all the passengers? All right. You'd say, this is crazy. This is nuts. I want to get me off this plane as fast as possible. But for some reason, it's totally admissible for traders. It's okay to go to a website or go to some blog or some guy in a chat room and see what he says you should be doing. Or it's okay to listen to the guys on TV after the market closes and find out what you should be doing tomorrow. Okay, this couldn't be any further from the truth. You see, in 46 years, my 46 years of trading, the only traders who are still trading are the ones that make their own trading decisions. You see, that's what separates you from the rest. When you can rely on your own method and not have to rely on an outside source like some guy on TV or some guy in a chat room, but just your own method and feel comfortable and confident that you're going to have consistency in your trading. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, Steve, my method isn't very well, or I haven't been trading long enough. I don't know how to make those own decisions. Well, that's the service we provide at Specialist Trading. Okay, with my 46 years of training and experience in the markets, I share with you all the tips and techniques that have high levels of consistency. So we teach you what best fits your trading persona. If you're the trader that likes to get in and out quickly, well, we have a great presentation for you today. If you're the type of trader that likes to hold on positions for weeks, months, maybe even years, we have great methods for that as well for you to trade. So ultimately, you have to make your own decisions. Our job as a mentor is to provide you with that information and information that has stood the test of time. And you'll see that in today's educational presentation. Now, before we begin, as always, we're required by law to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results using this method today, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. Also, please remember, since we are first and foremost an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you'd like to get more education on a daily basis, please feel free to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle right there, abbreviation for Specialist Trading. I post different snapshots just about every hour, roughly about 5 or 6 a day, showing you little techniques or methods that have generated signals in the markets, just for educational purposes, to show you the philosophy and the concepts behind our trading techniques. I also post little bits of financial wisdom. So there's lots of great free information on a daily basis. Please feel free to follow us on Twitter. Now, remember, as I stated in the opening statements, we are a little bit different from other webinars you may have attended in that I'm not going to tell you what to buy or sell or what I think of the market today. All right. If you come here thinking that I'm going to tell you what the best stock is to trade, or this is the best system in the world, and you should trade this. No, that's not what we believe in, and that's not what we do. Remember, we are an educational company with one goal in mind: to teach you how to trade. And as you can see here, that's the real goal of a mentor, because a real mentor, a real educator, does not trade for his student, but he teaches them how to trade. This is the same way I was taught some 46 years ago when I first started trading on the floor of the stock exchange, the Pacific Stock Exchange. That's where I started my career. And this is what I teach my students around the world, in over 116 countries and in virtually every state in the United States. So hopefully it will be able to affect you so that you not only have maybe a couple of good weeks of trading, but maybe a couple of good decades, okay? This is the specialist edge. This edge, I hope, can sustain you the way it has sustained so many others around the world, all right? Now, before we begin today's presentation, remember, I want you to ask as many questions as possible. We have a good crowd here today, so please wait till the end of class to ask questions. I promise I'll get to each and every one of them, but if we stop for every slide, we'll be here far too long. I don't want to take all of your Wednesday up and take you away from the market. So if you have a question, please wait till the end, and I will answer it then. The main question I will answer is this being recorded? Yes, it is. All of our presentations are recorded, so if you have to leave early, or if you're having technical issues the way we did this morning prior to the presentation where I was getting this echo, I didn't know if you could hear it, but on my end, I was getting an echo on everything I was saying. Prior to the presentation, we had a little technical difficulty, so if you're new to joining us right now, don't worry, each and every one of you will be sent a link to this good recording of this presentation where you won't get an echo or anything feeding back on you, okay? So Once again, please wait till the end of class to ask questions. And yes, you will all receive a link to this recording. All right, with that stated, let's begin today's educational presentation. And what we're going to be talking about today is a great strategy, strategy number 2. This is a new strategy we have at Specialist Trading. We've got some great results and some great feedback from our students that are already members of the strategy number 2 course. So let's share with you some of the highlights of this particular method. It's our new strategy, as I just said, fairly new. We only released it months ago. And it's a combination pattern indicator-based method. Now, a lot of our strategies are just solely based off a pattern, and others are just solely based off an indicator. Well, this is different. It's kind of a hybrid. It combines both a pattern and an indicator. And that's why I think we are seeing such great results on this particular method. Now, most trades are designed to last anywhere from 1 to 10 days or bars. In other words, you can use this on intraday trading. So if you're looking at 60-minute bars, well, most trades will last 1 to 10 60-minute bars. If you're looking at monthly bars, most trades will last 1 to 10 monthly bars, okay? Now, because of the way it's developed, you may apply this to option trading. In fact, this is a perfect addition to your option trading. And I'll share with you just in a few moments why. But basically, if you're only going to be in a trade for 1 to 10 bars, it's great. You're not tying up your money. You don't have to pay those exorbitant, premium fees. You can purchase an option or some type of spread strategy that is only going to be around for, anywhere from a week to 10 days. And so that's great for option trading. Now in the course, I'll teach you how to trade both aggressive and conservative versions. Now I know a lot of you may say, well, Steve, I don't really trade, 1 to 10 days. I like to hold on a little bit longer. Sometimes I'm in the trade for months. Well, that's okay. But this is a great way to counter a long-term investment. Let's say you're locked in to an investment where most of your money is, and the market is going the opposite way of your investment. Well, this is a great way to counter trade that, or if you're locked in with some type of long-term position, you can still short-term trade to at least kind of hedge that loss that you may be having in a position trade. Now, our edge here with all of our methods, whether it's strategy number 2 or any one of our numerous methods that we teach our students, is consistency. And I know a lot of you think that consistency means that it's just an abundance of winners. That's really not what consistency means. Consistency is an awareness. It's an awareness that you will have losses from time to time, but that's okay. Every good trader I know has losses from time to time. Think of it. Any athlete doesn't hit a home run every time they come up the bat, doesn't score, doesn't make a basket every time. Any entertainer doesn't have a hit movie every time, or it doesn't have a hit album or CD. But it's consistency that gives them that longevity, a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach. It's the same way with our methods. Not every trade will be a winner, but that's okay. You want a method that's able to recoup those losses, and that's what consistency means, a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach. And I'm happy to report that strategy 2 is extremely consistent. Okay. So let's look at some strategy 2 technique signals that I'm going to be sharing with you today and teaching you today, because it's really simple. And I want to share with you how you could have seen these in the recent markets. Okay. And I know a lot of times you'll go to webinars and you'll see examples that are fantastic. And you say, wow, I got to buy this method. Even though it costs $10,000, I've got to buy it because look at the signals it's generating. But then you look at the dates and they may be a year or 2 old. You want to find something that works in the last couple of months and better in the last couple of weeks. Well, we'll share with you examples in all those time frames, okay? Remember, everything you're seeing today is coming from a display on the PTS Primo Charting platform, where you can actually, with one click, execute this technique that I'll be sharing with you today. This is the educational platform that teaches you how to trade these short-term markets. Okay, so let's start off the bat today. Let's look at this chart in FTNT, all right? Now, as we can see, most traders will say, well, gosh, I don't want to do anything here. Look, we're going straight up, then straight down. I don't know what to do here. That guy in the chat room says, stay away. There's no real trend, and the market is very indecisive. It doesn't really have a good idea of what it wants to do. Well, that's not really true. Here's what you do on the platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform. You would simply click on strategy number 2, and in the drop-down menu, click on signals. And you see that there was a buy signal right here, where it looked as if the market was going down a little bit, okay? Once you get a buy signal, What do you want to do? You want to look for the most recent high, the most recent short-term high, which would be right here. And you can draw an imaginary line. It's not hard to see, but this is the previous high. So this is where you'll sell. You don't sell actually at the previous high. In this technique, we're calling for the first close above this previous high is where you'd exit the trade, all right? So you can tell yourself, even before you get into the trade, well, if the previous high is here and I'd be entering here, is it too little or maybe not enough, or is it enough? This is where you can decide. And basically, you say to yourself, well, maybe I'd make $4 or $5. That's okay. I'll stick with this trade. See how we're letting you decide whether you're in charge? This is not a system where everyone has to trade the same way, get in the same way, exit the same way. This is just one particular way to trade strategy number 2. And as we can see, it took a little longer, I think about 7 days, but we closed above the previous high. So this would be your exit point. You'd make a nice 4 points there, okay? Very quick trade, very easy to do. You realize how simple this is. And look what happens now after that. Well, the market just kind of falters. But once again, is there another setup? So all you have to do, click on Strategy 2, click on Signals in the drop-down menu, and you see here that, yes, there is another setup. So you want to buy again, and here's the last short-term high right here. So you can paint an imaginary line or on our platform, put on a horizontal line there just for reference, and this is the previous high. So what we want to do is, once we close above this, we're going to be exiting again. And look what happened in the next 3 days. We closed above it and we exited for another 4-point gain. So with this simplicity of this really easy but consistent method, you could have generated an 8-point profit potentially in just 2 trades, not looking at any news, not looking at earnings, not listening to some guy in a chat room, but just based off market behavior. Here's another example, all right? This one's in EA, Electronic Arts. All right, obviously we're in a downtrend, all right? We're making lower lows, lower highs. So you're thinking you want to actually go short. But we want to click on strategy number 2, click on Signals, and what we have here, at the very low of that so-called downtrend, there's a buy signal, okay? So let's look and find where the last short-term high was, right here. This is the previous high. So we say to ourselves, well, listen, we think it can go and close above here. If you believe it can, if you're liking the markets or you've been studying this stock, EA, you say to yourself, okay, I'll buy it. And look what happened in the next 4 days. Closed above. So there's our exit right there. And you have a nice 10-point gain, okay? You see how simple this is. We're not doing anything other than following what the market is telling us. All right, here's another example. This one's in Charter. A buy signal was generated. The last short-term high was actually on that bar where the setup was. This is the previous high. In 3 days, it traded above. So we exit on the close of this right here. We have a nice little gain. Not bad. You see how simple this is. Very easy to maneuver. Very easy. Oops. Got caught up a little bit in the head of there. Let's look at another one, okay? Let's look at BIIB, all right? This is Biogen. All right, obviously, we are in an uptrend. Higher highs, higher lows, right? But if we click on strategy number 2, click on Signals, guess what? We have a sell signal. So where's the last or previous short-term low? Right back here. So this is the previous low. Do we think that this can come down here? If you've been following this stock, or you can do your research, remember, you're in charge. This is not a system where everyone has to trade the same way. If you believe this can come down this level, well, then great. Take the sell signal, and look what happened in roughly less than a week. It closed below, and you could have made it potentially a quick 10 points. See how simple this is? Let's look at 2 signals here in ISRG, all right, Intuitive Surgical. Now, once again, we're going lower, but we have 2 buy signals. Trading this particular technique, we want to find out where the last previous high was, and it's right here, okay? So we could have taken either one of these, and look at the nice profit we had in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. That's a nice little gain. All right, let's look at Marvel. Now, a buy signal was generated using strategy number 2. The previous high was right here. Okay, So we say to ourselves, well, I like this stock. Look at all the days it's been opening and closing higher. It looks bullish to me. I'm going to buy this. Okay. So you buy it. You wait for it to close above the previous high. And it does. And you have a nice 4 points. And you can get out if you want. But remember, this is just the technique we're teaching you. You still can make your own decisions. Because sometimes if you hold on to the trade, one more day, you could have potentially captured 20 more points. So a lot of times what we'll say to our students is listen, if let's say you have 200 shares, all right, maybe you want to sell half your position when it closes above, and then move your stop, wherever your stop is, which we teach you in the course, to where you purchased it, okay? So if you would have purchased it right here, and then that gives you free reign with the remaining portion of your position to exit if it gets higher, okay? These are just a number of ways to trade that we teach you in the course just to help you, because basically strategy 2 is based off market behavior. And if the market is telling you it wants to go higher, we're not listening to any earnings, we're not listening to any economic reports, we're not looking at support and resistance or Fibonacci retracements. It's all based on a pattern and its relationship to a certain indicator. And how it combines together tells us its market behavior if the market wants to go higher or lower. So it doesn't necessarily have to end once it closes above the previous high. So you're more than welcome to stay in a trade longer if you'd like. Okay, let's look at this example in Qualcomm, all right? A sell signal was generated right here. Let's look at the last short-term low right there. This is the previous low, okay? So do we think it can close below there? Sure. Okay, so we go short, we sell, maybe we buy the puts. This is why we say this is ideal for option trading, because you're not going to be in these trades a long time. And then look what happens. In 2 days, you could have potentially captured 13 points, maybe even more if you wanted to get out before the close. Another example here in ORLY, O'Reilly Automotive. We have a buy signal, okay? If we're going to take the trade and use this technique, we want to go back in time and find out where the last short-term high was. It's right here. So that's our previous high. So we think that this can go above. We realize this is an expensive stock, but if we got the calls or some type of spread strategy with a bias to the upside, it's up to you. Remember, this is not, our job is not to tell you how to trade it. As an educator, we don't say, well, you have to trade options with this, or you have to buy the stock or something. It's up to you. Remember, you're in charge of your own trading, not some guy in a chat room or not some guy in a webinar, not some guy on TV. You are. If you want to buy options, that's fine. And either way, you had a nice little profit here when it exited and closed above. See how simple this is. Let's look at Tesla, okay? All right, we had a buy signal. This is going back just about a month ago in mid-June. Buy signal. Here's the last previous high. We would have exited right there for a nice 20-point gain in 2 days, okay? And look what happens after we got out. Well, it kind of goes down. So what happens to a lot of our students that we have told us, they say, Steve, I'll have a nice little profit with this, but then I'll forget about it and move on to the next one. That's okay. Remember, it's up to you. But oftentimes, a signal will be generated in the next 2 or 3 days. As in Tesla, another buy signal was generated right here. So now what you want to do is look at the last short-term high. The previous high was right here. And you could have had another profit of 23 points using the same technique. This would have lasted roughly 6 days, but once again, most of the trades on average last 5 days. Some a little less, if you just seen, some were only 2 days. Some will be 6 or 7 days. But here, just by using this simple technique with strategy 2, you could have potentially captured 43 points. Trading is simple when you get out of your own way. You see, most traders fail because they're overcomplicating things. I know personally, when I first started trading, I was looking at too many indicators. I was listening to, we didn't have chat rooms or trading rooms, but we had newsletters. I was listening to all those guys. I was in charge of making markets in roughly about 60 stocks when I was on the trading floor. So I had to know all the earnings and everything, the ins and outs about the company. So I was well aware of all that. And guess what? My first 2 years, I couldn't make a dime. It was just too much overload of information. And most of the information, traditional wisdom that we were all taught we're supposed to look at, really doesn't work. There's no consistency in it. Why? Because they're too subjective. Instead of listening to outside sources, my mentors taught me to listen to the one thing that you're trading, the source of what you're trading, which is the market behavior or the chart you're looking at. Once you start focusing on that, its trading is really simple and, in my opinion, a lot more consistent. Okay, let's look at this chart in Amgen, all right? Looks like it's going up, right? We have two sell signals right here. Wow. Well, where's the last short-term low or the previous low? Right here. You could have had a quick 9 points in roughly about 2 days had you taken any one of those signals. And just as we said before, even as the market kind of goes sideways, strategy 2 generated 2 more signals. So find the last previous low right there, and 10 points you could have potentially made in roughly 2 or 3 days. But it doesn't end there. Look what happened again. The market starts to go sideways to higher. So I say, okay, so I should look for long setups. Well, not really. Strategy 2 generated another sell signal. Find the previous short-term low right here and potentially 6 points. So 3 simple trades that lasted less than 2 or 3 days each could have potentially captured 25 points. Okay, just trading off strategy number 2. And finally, that chart we talked about in the beginning, ODFL. All right, remember, let's say hypothetically you were along this and you went to that chat room and they told you to sell, right? Because it was getting overbought. Well, what does strategy number 2 do? Well, let's go through the process. Rather than listening to some guy, remember, we don't want to do that. We don't teach to do that. That's why we never give opinions or insight in terms of telling you what the market's going to do, because that's for you to decide. Think of it. The entire industry is based on you listening to someone or something tell you what the market's going to do. And if that works so well, why do 85% of all traders fail? It's obvious that that concept does not work. I was taught that same concept 46 years ago when I first started trading. And so it didn't work then, and it's not miraculously going to start working now. So what you've got to do is base everything on market behavior. The good news is we've taken the hard work out of it for you. And in a strategy like strategy number 2, it's already in the setups. For example, rather than looking at this and basing everything just off of what some guy said and feeling really good about yourself for one day, click on strategy number 2. In the drop-down menu, click on signals. And you would have seen that there was a buy signal right here. Now, it's your decision to take it. Remember, you don't have to take this, but if you decided to take it, using this technique, you would have said, well, I'm going to go back in time and find out where the last previous high was. And that would have been right here. So you would have drawn an imaginary line or just kind of kept it to yourself that you know that it's got to trade above this level. And for the next 1, 2, 3 days, it actually goes a little bit higher, but not that much. But look what happened again. Another buy signal. Now you can decide again to double up, or we wouldn't tell you to double up. It's up to you. Or you could just look at more confidence that the market behavior is still generating buy signals. So that would give you the confidence to stay in the trade. And 2 days later, it finally paid off. That's where it closed above the previous high. And you could have exited there with a 40-point gain in just 1 week. Okay. So this is how simple using this technique really is. There's really not a lot of work in it because we've taken all the hard work out of it for you. It's already based on market behavior. The secret to it is not knowing how to generate this setup with the formula. The secret is in knowing how to apply it to your trading and knowing how to trade it. And the good news is that's what we teach in the strategy number 2 course. Okay, so let's recap. Some of the highlights: it's a brand new strategy and it's a combination pattern indicator based kind of a hybrid strategy. Most trades are designed to last anywhere from 1 to 10 days if you're looking at daily bars, or 1 to 10 bars. So you can use this intraday, you can use this going out, longer term, weekly bars, monthly bars, makes no difference, okay? You've just seen, because of the quickness using this technique and the trade, that this is great for option trading. You don't have to type your money a lot. You can be in and out of these trades in roughly about, on average, 5 days, 5 bars. And that means you won't be losing a lot with a premium. How many times have option traders been right on what you've bought the option for, but it's taken so long you didn't make any money because you lost the premium when the premium started losing its value? Well, this, because of its simplicity and because how quick the trades are generated, you don't have to worry about that. Now, in the course, I'll teach you an aggressive as well as a conservative way to trade this. If you're a long-term trader, if you're an investor, and this doesn't really meet your needs right now, well, think of it. Remember, how many times have you been in an investment and it's not working out your way? This is a great way to hedge those investments when they're not working out well. You can simply transfer onto this short-term way of trading, and it will complement those losses you may have in the long-term positions. Remember, this is an extremely consistent method. Not every trade is going to be a winner, but it has a high level of consistency, or a two-step forward, one-step back approach. So ask yourself, do you think our new strategy number 2 could help your trading? I think your answer is yes. And because of that, we have a great special attendee discount for all of you taking time out of your Wednesday today. We're going to offer you our brand new trading method, strategy number 2. This is our strategy number 2 discount course, entirely new trading strategy that filters out the weakness signals. Okay, the weakest signals are filtered out. That's why you're getting these best signals that last anywhere from 1 to 10 bars. You're going to get all the complete trading rules. You can also scan for daily setups. This is a great thing that our students love about this, that a lot of students aren't able to actually be in front of a computer all day, and sometimes they won't see the market till the end of the day. You can scan at the end of the day for the setups for the next day. Remember, the average trade lasts anywhere from 5 to 10 days. It's ideal for option trading. Now, everything you saw today was coming from our platform, the trading and educational platform that teaches you how to trade these short-term setups. Okay, this is the PTS Primo Charting platform. And everything you saw was just with one-click access. You saw how simple it was just to generate those strategy number 2 signals on the chart. So because of that, you're going to need the PTS Primo Charting platform, right? Well, here's an extra bonus we have. If you sign up for our course, we're going to give you a full year free of the platform. So you'll be able, with one click of your mouse, click on to see wherever these signals are. You'll be able to use the scanner. You'll get all this capability. And actually, you're going to get more. Because in my 46 years, I've accumulated a lot of tips and techniques and trading methods, things that you won't find on any other platform. So you're not just going to get strategy number 2. You'll also get our buy, sell line feature. This is 4 different ways to find out what the overall trend is in any market, any time frame, instantly. You'll only find that on the PTS Primo Charting platform. A strength of trend feature that instantly tells you if the market is running out of steam or if it has the beginning stages of a trend. You'll only find that on the PTS Primo charts. You'll get our signal scanner, as we said. You'll also get automatic exit levels, over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators. But here's what I think the best thing. You'll get access to other data. Remember, strategy number 2 can be applied to all markets and time frames. So let me share with you what I mean here. If we have any forex traders, this is a great technique for trading the forex markets. Here's a chart of the euro yen. Okay, this just happened roughly about 3-4 weeks ago. All right, we had a buy signal in the euro yen. Using the exact same technique, we find where the last short-term previous high was. And the same exact example happens where you could have made a quick 80 pips in roughly 2 days, all right? But just like trading stocks, nothing changes, because look what happened 3 days later. Another signal was generated. You find the last previous high right here and right there. Some more profits, just using this very simple way to trade. Now that's on a daily bar of the euro yen. What if we went to a 4-hour chart of the dollar yen? A sell signal was generated on the 4-hour chart. We use the exact same technique. Doesn't make any difference. Find the previous low, and in roughly less than a day, we could have potentially captured 150 pips. Now another signal was generated just about 8 hours later. Find the previous low, which is right there on that setup bar, and another 60 pips. So you see how simple this is. It makes no difference what market, makes no difference what time frame. You can apply strategy number 2 and this technique to all markets and time frames. Okay, so let's break it down. All right, this is our brand new trading method with just one of the techniques which I share with you today on how to apply it. Let's break it down what the cost would be. Now, normally, the regular price for this, if you just bought this alone and we weren't having this on special discount, would be close to $5,000, okay? We're not going to charge that today. Because of your attendance today, because of listening to this presentation, we're going to give you a discount of $500, 10%, and drop it down to $44.95. But here's the best thing about this. We're also going to throw in payment plans. Now, payment plan just simply means that you don't have to come up with even $44.95. You can come up with a fraction of that cost. Just put down a one-time deposit, establish a payment plan with my sister site, ProTrader Strategies, a monthly payment plan, and you can still be up and running as early as today or tomorrow. That's how simple it is. And either way you decide to go, whether you want to pay in full $44.95 or whether you want to establish a payment plan, you'll still get 12 months free of the platform. It includes it in both different options. So it makes absolutely no difference which way you decide to go. This is a great way to get your trading back on track. Remember, you're getting a full year of the platform along with all the different things included on the platform, as well as strategy number 2. Now remember, we're halfway through 2023, if you can believe it. We're already halfway through the year. Most of you are nowhere near where you thought you'd be at the beginning of the year when you made all these promises to yourself and all these goals that you set that you wanted to make money. That's okay. You can still finish the year strong with strategy number 2. Take charge of your trading. Become a student of mine in the strategy number 2 course. Okay, so remember, once again, we have a special $500 discount, 10% down to $44.95. You can pay it in full then, or you can establish a payment plan with ProTrader Strategies. For a fraction of that cost, you can still be up and running and have a monthly payment. Both these different options includes a full year free of the platform. Here's how to take advantage of this. Contact ProTrader Strategies. They're in charge of all the discounts. They're in charge of all the tech support with the platform. You can call them directly at area code 310-598-6677. Or if you see that link at the very bottom, that link will take you to the info and sign up page if you'd like to sign up online or just to get more information on strategy number 2 and this offer online. Now that link is not live, so you're going to have to copy and paste that onto your browser, okay? Now I promised you, as I leave this information up here for you to copy down or take down the number, I would answer any question. We have about 10 more minutes left. If you have any questions, now is the time. Let me open up, you can either go to the question and answer tab and type in a question, or you can go to the webinar chat, okay? Let me see, someone's asking about what if we have questions? This is probably the most common question I get. We call this educational correspondence. Each and every one of you, if you become a student of mine in any course we have, you will get my personal email address, okay? This is not the trading@protraderstrategies.com email address you see right here. This is my personal email address where you can share with me different examples that you have questions on, or maybe trades that you did and you want more clarification. And remember, everything comes directly to me. I get these emails directly. They don't go to an intern. They don't go to an assistant. So you don't have to worry about anyone else seeing your question. So if you do have a question, once you're a student of mine, it makes no difference when you want to ask me in the middle of the night. We have students in Europe. I'm on the West Coast of the United States. We also have students, that like to, study over the weekend. Makes no difference. You can always send me emails whenever you'd like, and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability. Okay. What other markets can strategy number 2 be applied to? Strategy number 2 can be applied to any markets. And I just showed you a bunch of stock examples as well as forex examples. I didn't have any examples on intraday stock trading, or I didn't have a lot of examples on, let's say, futures or even ETFs. But trust me, we have students that only trade those markets specifically, and it does work very well. Okay, the majority of our students are mainly stock traders, so that's why I like to always have the majority of our examples as stock. But it can work on any market or any time frame. It really is that flexible. And as you saw, we were looking at a 4-hour chart, I believe, of the euro yen, or it was either the dollar yen. And so if it can be applied to a 4-hour chart, it can be applied to a 5-minute chart. Makes no difference. Okay, it really is a good and flexible strategy. Where do I place my stop? Well, that's something that we will discuss in the course, because we have upwards of 6 different places to put your stop, because everyone's different. Remember, our concept of trading, our philosophy is no 2 traders should ever trade alike. Why? Because if you're in charge of your trading, if you're the one making your decisions, then there's no way it's going to be the exact same as someone else. And the reason is because everyone comes in with different risk parameters, with different issues about trading. Let's say you're the type of trader that doesn't want to risk a lot at all. You just want to keep your risk to a very small minimum of your account. Okay, then we would share with you a specific stop placement for that. Whereas we may have another student in the exact same class that says, no, I have a large account. I don't mind taking larger risks because I want to be in this trade. I want to give myself more chances for opportunity. Okay, then we have specific examples of how to place a stop for that. Now, you can have a winning example for both traders, but they place their stop at different places. And it works the same with exits. We have upwards of 6 or 7 different exit points. Let's say you're the type of trader like what I shared with you today that wants to get in and out quickly in 5 bars, okay? Well, we share with you different ways to do that, not only with this technique, but different exit techniques as well. But let's say we have another student in the exact same course saying, Steve, I like to stay in a trade as long as possible to capture as much gain and squeeze out as much gain as possible. Great. We show you ways to do that. So you may take the same signal as someone in the same course, the same stock or the same market, the same time frame, and get entirely different signals. And that's okay. We encourage that because the reason you're getting different signals is because you are in charge of your own trading. You're making your own decision. And that's what we want. That, in my opinion, is the only way you will become a consistent trader. That's how you will get longevity. You see here, we do not have a signal service where I'm going to tell you, well, nightly we scan for you and you should buy here and sell here. That's a recipe for a disaster. And that's not what a good mentor does. Remember, a good mentor does not trade for you. He teaches you how to trade. And that's at the core of all our philosophy, teaching you so that you can ultimately make your own decisions. Another question, if a buy signal is generated, is it better to only take the trade when the buy bar is a bear bar? Once again, that's up to you. I assume by what you mean a bear bar is when the bar closes towards its low, right? Or a down day. It's up to you. And once again, if you're an option trader, you would like that because the premiums would be less. But what we tell all of our students is, listen, if you finally decide a way in which you want to make your own decisions, in which you want to be in charge of your trading, we always require that our students first paper trade. We don't just want you jumping in and saying, okay, I've got it all figured out. I know how to make my own decisions. I'm just going to start trading with real capital tomorrow. And most likely you'll lose money because we want to see if that works for you. So the best way is to paper trade. And that's what I would tell my students. This is great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with buying if only the signal is down. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But for some students and maybe a particular market, it doesn't work out well. So we would say, test that first to see if it works with your particular market, with your particular time frame, and with what your particular trading, maybe with options, maybe with stocks. It's entirely up to you. So there's no one right or wrong way to answer any technique. This is why we say you're in charge of your own trading decisions. As a mentor, I can help you with making your decisions, but the best way is to paper trade. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's kind of a cop-out. So you're basically just telling me to go and find out on my own. Well, trust me, I still paper trade methods. I've been trading for 46 years now, and I'm currently paper trading a method. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. You want to see if something works for you, and you want to see if it, in the long run, can be consistent. So there's nothing wrong with paper trading. Okay, good questions. Sound like you guys have been trading for a while. Any other questions before we leave? Remember, this is a limited time offer. If you're really interested in this, it'll probably only last for the next 3 to 4 days. Next week, we'll be giving another presentation with another offer. So if you're interested in becoming a student of mine in the strategy number 2 course, now is the time to at least contact Pro Trader Strategies. And if you have any questions, make sure that you will, really, ask them everything so you can really know what you want before the deadline expires. How is this indicator different than the new PSBI indicator? Okay, that's an entirely different course. This is an actual strategy that comes with complete entry rules, complete exit rules, complete stop placement, complete exit. It's a strategy. That's what a strategy does. As you just said right now, how is this different from the PSBI indicator? That's just an indicator, just the same way a moving average is an indicator, just the same way stochastics are an indicator, all right? Stochastics may help you find out where to get in or where to get out, but they're not a strategy. This is a full-fledged strategy, okay? So they're entirely different. An indicator is something you add on to help you in your decision-making trades. The PSBI is that, and it's a great indicator that I'll be talking about next week. We'll have a course starting very soon, but it's entirely different. This is a full-fledged strategy that comes complete with all the entry signals, all the exits, and all the stop placements, okay? I hope that answers your question, okay? You guys sound pretty sophisticated. You've been around for a while. Okay, it looks like we're at the end of today's presentation. once again, I apologize for that little snafu we had in the beginning where we had that feedback. I don't know if you heard it on your end, but on my end, everything was echoing. So if you didn't hear it, good, you were spared that. I just couldn't give the presentation hearing myself with a feedback every couple of seconds later. So thank you for putting up with this starting over again. And remember, if you're at all interested in strategy number 2 and taking advantage of this great offer, contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're very able to work with you. They're very, what should I say, not hands-on. They don't want to, they're not trying to sell you anything. If you're just want a quote, they'd be more than happy to give you a quote and more than happy to tell you how much it would cost for you to put down to establish a quote, okay? It's very simple, and they're there to work with you. They're very transparent, and they're very easy and flexible. So give them a call if you're interested at all, because remember, this offer only lasts roughly for the next 3 or 4 days, okay? There's the email address. I would highly recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. Okay, as we close and take one last look at our disclaimer, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday. I know you could be looking at markets or going to see or hear someone else speak. Thank you so much for taking the time out. And I hope you learned a little bit, not only about strategy 2, but about our philosophy of trading and about our philosophy of teaching you how to become a consistent trader. Thank you so much. I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine in the strategy number 2 course. I wish you all the best of luck, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.